A lot of big Apple announcements today, everything from AirTags, Apple TVs, iMacs, and even new iPad Pros.
So many we have cheat sheet.
I love cheat sheets. If you like tech videos, especially ours, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you're watching right now, and hit that little notification button so you'll know when new videos are coming out. John, let's start with AirTags. These are something that have been rumored for 30, 40 years now, it seems.
Yeah, for sure. This is basically Apple's competitor for Tiles. And these are little tiny trackers that use Bluetooth to, you could attach them to anything. You can attach them to your keys, your wallet, your gym bag, your pet if you want.
Just like Tile.
Yeah.
I wonder what Tile is thinking right now. I know they'll come out with a press release saying, this is great, competition is good. But you know, when you look at the numbers, Apple literally has over 1 billion Apple devices on their Find My network. And that's how these things are working. It's the Find My network that will be able to track down anything that you've lost. And they've opened it up to third parties as well.
Yeah, so you're going to see lots of other companies making these tags as well. And
or embedding them right into their devices,
yeah,
right?
We've seen that with Tile.
Yeah.
And so it'd be, you know, if you got some headphones, for example, you might have AirTags built into that.
Yeah.
That type of thing. The interesting thing about these is how Apple has done it. They've taken the Find Mine app and made it sort of like this little hub for all your stuff. And what I really appreciated about the little demonstration that they showed, kind of like how James Bond would track down a spy.
Yeah.
You actually get to follow breadcrumbs with your phone, and because it's taking into account your location, your accelerometer, all that type of stuff, it'll actually help navigate to exactly where your keys are in that left side of the couch.
Well, to take full advantage of it, I think it works across all Apple devices, right? But to get that super tracking, you need an iPhone 11 or an iPhone 12. But what's interesting is, again, the sheer number of Apple devices out there that already are using the Find My network is how that is going to make this all work. These AirTags are just Bluetooth. They haven't got like little GPS trackers on there. So they need to be able to be within a few dozen feet of some other device that has Bluetooth. So if I'm out jogging and I lose my keys in the park, if someone else with an Apple device comes along, that will help triangulate and find those keys that I've lost.
And they've also really thought about the privacy aspect, because you could easily put a tag in my backpack or in my back pocket without me knowing, and my iPhone would actually say, hey, there's an unrecognized tag that you haven't paired with this device. You should maybe investigate that.
Well, I've actually talked to a few people about, you know, these new AirTags, and the first thing they're saying, well, now they're going to be able to track us, or I can stick that on someone and track them. But no, you can't.
Yeah.
Which is the big thing. So they do take replaceable batteries on them. They've got an IP67 water-resistant ratings. I didn't really see how long they're supposed to last, but if they're anything like the Tiles, that could be 1 year to 2 years before you have to replace the battery.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, because they really want you to use these on everything, Apple's making it really easy to be customizable. So if you order them direct from Apple, you can actually get laser-etched emojis on each individual one.
Thank God.
Right, I know. How many poop emojis are going to be made, right?
Tons, millions.
But they also have personable little holders for it, so you can have little keychain straps or luggage tags, that kind of thing like that. And they even have an Hermes special edition.
How much is that going to be?
Probably more than the iPad Pro we're going to talk about later.
So pricing about 39 bucks Canadian for one, and for a 4-pack?
$129.
Kind of in the same range as the Tile.
It's a little up there.
A little up there.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see how Tile fares in all this. I know Samsung came out with their own smart trackers as well.
Smart things.
Smart things, yeah. So everyone's trying to get into this game now, but because Apple's got such an intense ecosystem and customer base, it will probably be pretty successful.
It's hard to see it not being a success.
No. Let's talk about Apple TV. And before we even talk about the Apple TV device itself, all I care about is that new remote control. If you've ever used the old Apple remote control, you know, kind of the newer one, the black one with the touchpad on the top.
The glass touchpad?
Oh my God, I don't think I've come across a worse remote control.
No.
Like everyone in my family just hates using it, and I'm sorry, but it's just so easy because it's the same on both sides of the trackpad up and down. You don't know when you're hitting that.
And I have a hardwood floor in my living room,
Yeah.
and if it falls off my couch, I'm just expecting it to be shattered because it is a glass top. and it just doesn't feel durable. And you want to be able to take a remote and huck it across the room, or have your pet sleep on it or something and not have to worry about it. I never felt that with the old one.
So the biggest and greatest news for me is that this new remote is backwards compatible, and I hope they make enough new ones because I'm going to buy a bunch for my house. What are they, about 69
About
bucks?
$69, yeah.
70. It's such a tiny remote, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway, they're going to make millions.
But they've made it really interesting. It's an all aluminum, kind of like the original Apple TV remote,
Yeah.
just a little bit bigger. And they've got this interesting sort of like D-pad navigational joggy thing.
iPod-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got the 5-directional, but you also can use it because it's touch enabled
Yeah.
as a jog wheel.
Got it.
So that'll be super easy for navigating, assuming it's keeps the connection, right?
Yeah.
That's the challenge that we have with the old one. I always found that mine, and it's a premium device, you shouldn't lose connection from the remote. And I don't even know how you're going to charge it. Is it going to be the Lightning connector again?
We'll find out. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the actual Apple TV box. It's 4K. They've upped the specs inside. It's using a Bionic A12 chip inside now, and it's doing high frame rate HDR. It's got the Dolby Atmos. This is really aimed at the home TV, home theater enthusiast. When you can get some of these streaming sticks like Roku sticks for as little as $40, this is just in a different category. It's up over $200 here in Canada, and it's made for more than just Netflix and Amazon Prime and Apple TV Plus.
A really neat new feature that they've added to this is you can take your iPhone 12, you pair it with your Apple TV, you can actually use the camera on your iPhone to color balance your TV,
Yeah.
so that everything looks exactly as it was intended.
So the Apple TV, obviously you can watch Netflix and what have you. A lot of these streaming services are going to be taking advantage of that high frame rate HDR now, so you're going to get like upper level quality as far as watching the TV, especially when you can color balance everything and color correct it with your iPhone. But because it's got such a powerful chip, it's going to be good for gaming. Apple Arcade is pretty good deal. I think for $6 or $7 you get over 100 premium games. You'll be able to connect like an Xbox or a Bluetooth PlayStation controller to it. And don't forget about Apple Fitness Plus as well.
Yes, that's right.
I'm using that on my big screen at home now. Got the yoga mat out, and because it syncs with the Apple Watch to the Apple TV, you can get your heart rate and everything right up on the screen as you're going through the different workouts. It's like being at the gym.
So your heart rate will be color balanced to your actual heart now?
My heart is black, so I guess it'll be black. Let's move on to the iMacs. I was pretty excited about this. These things look beautiful. They've got 7 different colors, including silver. So kind of like the iMacs of yesterday. Remember how
Yes.
they had the multicolors? But it is beautiful. I can't believe how thin they've made the screen.
11.5 millimeters thick.
Okay, that is thinner than the monitors we have in our office.
Any monitor.
And they've got the computer and storage and everything in there. Obviously, there's no DVD player.
No.
But 2 terabytes of storage. No, that's
No.
an iPad Pro.
That's right.
Okay, but you can get all sorts of levels of storage.
Yeah, so the really cool thing about it is they found a way. The previous iMacs had a fairly large motherboard, for
Yeah.
lack of a better term, and they shrunk it all down because the M1 chip has the GPU, the memory, everything all in one little spot. So the actual motherboard is very tiny now, and it only needs 2 little fans, so it's basically going to be silent the whole time.
And that's a big story. This is the first iMac that has the M1 chip built into it, like the new MacBooks are getting that. So you're going to get the power and increased processing and graphics capability because that's all built into the M1 chip. 1080p camera as well, so that's going to be good for all your Zoom calls. So you're going to look half decent.
It's got a 3 mic array with beamforming, so you're going to get rid of all that extra noise of your kids or your pets in the background.
And so an interesting thing is what they're doing with the power cord as well. So it's color matched with whatever color iMac you get. It looks like almost like a garden hose size. It's magnetic, so it just kind of magnetically attaches in the back. Not only is it the power, but it goes down to like a little power block, kind of almost like a MacBook
Yeah, little tiny little.
power block of old.
Yeah.
But that power block then has another cord that goes to the wall, but it also has an Ethernet port. So you don't plug the Ethernet cable into the back of the iMac anymore. It's down in the little power block.
So 1 cord coming out the back, and that's it.
That's going to be great for cable management, especially in our office.
Yeah,
here.
because it also comes with a Bluetooth wireless Magic Keyboard.
Yeah.
That's also color matched to the iMac. And you can get an optional Magic Trackpad that's also color matched.
And one of those keyboards you can get's got TouchID, kind of like how you have with your iPhone.
Or your iPad.
Or your iPad. And it's got fast user switching, and this is awesome because it's instant. So if you've got a family at home, maybe you got this in your kitchen, dad can be using it, and then if mom wants to use it right away, she just puts her finger onto the keyboard, it automatically switches over to her desktop and profile, like instantly. You're not waiting for like 30 seconds or a minute and jumping through, logging in, logging off.
No
it's
passwords.
It's just instant.
Yeah.
So I love that. So that's great in an office environment where multiple people are using it, but also great in family kitchens and family rooms. Okay, iPad Pros.
This is big.
Yeah, they're using the M1 chip as well. So M1 chip again is Apple's own silicon, and these things are essentially MacBooks now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they've got two models, 11-inch and a 12.9.
Yeah.
And the 12.9's got even a higher end screen. They call it a liquid retina XDR. So this is made for professionals that need the best high resolution displays in animation, video editing. It is a beautiful screen. It's the same type of technology they're using in their high definition screens or monitors that they make.
Yeah, they've actually switched to a mini LED backlight. So in the previous iPad Pros, they had to have 72 normal size LEDs to backlight the display. In the new one, they've gone from 72 to 10,000 mini LEDs.
It's crazy, eh?
Yeah.
So it's got 2 terabyte storage option as well, which is more than
How much is that going to cost?
a lot of money, a lot of money. But if you're just looking at the power, I looked at the stats they were saying, compared to the original iPad, the very first one, this thing is 75 times more processing power in the CPU. Graphics power, 1,500 times more powerful than the first iPad. That's
Makes
incredible.
the first iPad feel like what they sent the Apollo missions with comparatively.
It was even more powerful than that back then. But it's interesting as well, just looking at everything that people are going to be using this for. Again, normal people can use it just as like a consumption device. They've got some great keyboard options now in white. I've been waiting for that, the Magic Keyboard in white. But if you're into video editing and animation, you can be editing multiple 4K streams at a time, or one 8K stream without dropping any frames. Like, it's amazing, and instant renders on this as well.
And they've also upped the camera on it, so you can really use it for your Zoom calls, of course, but also even for taking photos. And they have this interesting new feature called Center Stage. It's an ultra-wide lens on the front-facing camera that actually sort of zooms in a little bit, and then it will actually track you within that frame as you move around your office or your kitchen or wherever you're using it.
Well, I love that. I'm working from home so often now, and I hate just sitting in front of the camera. I like walking around my kitchen as I'm doing my call, but I look like a crazy guy.
Because you walk out of frame.
Yeah, but now I won't, because it'll actually be able to follow me. So, pricey?
Well, it's pretty comparable. I mean, it starts at $999 for the 11-inch, and then it's $1399, again, the base model of the 12.9, which is comparable to what they have now. But you really have a lot of options between all these different devices, and there's even a 5G available option as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. So not only is it 5G, but they've got the millimeter wave technology built into it as well. So in some countries, like in the US, that gives you even more download and bandwidth.
It's something like 4 gigabits per second kind of throughput.
In best conditions.
Yeah.
And I think that's just Verizon.
I think that's just under the tower.
Yeah, exactly. So pricey, especially when you consider that's just the tablet itself. If you start having to add like the pencil and a keyboard to it, it gets up there pretty quick. But I mean, these are essentially laptops now.
Yeah, they seem to skew more towards like the creative professionals.
Yeah.
At least the 12.9 for sure. But I have an iPad Air and I love it for lots more things because it's just powerful enough to keep up, and this is even more so.
Again, lots of new announcements. If you want to find out more about Apple products, we've got a lot of great videos on our channel, so subscribe. Also make sure that you hit the notification button, and we'll notify you every time we have new ones coming out.
And if you have any questions about what we talked about today, leave them in the comments below and we'll get back to you right there, and it might even be the source for a future video.